Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Markus Olind Loves PC. I am Markus Olind. I love PC. I'm a big fan. I'm a principal of PC, actually. I have principles. And obviously, I'm not talking about political correctness. I'm talking about porn and capitalism. You know, what makes America great? Porn and capitalism and the connection that they have. I'm drinking these very fancy Heineken 0.0s because I have a drinking problem. So I'm going to try to fix that with non-alcoholic beer. Almost tastes like the real thing. And actually, it's pretty good. If you haven't tried the Heineken 0.0s, they're pretty good. I was out barbecuing earlier, cooking up some hamburgers and hot dogs and a nice flank steak out on the barbecue. And it just reminded me about how great this country is. The United States of America is so amazing. I was living the American dream outside, you know, on a grill, in a neighborhood, cooking up shitty, cheap hot dogs and hamburgers. And it was great. Just living the American dream, because I think that is what the American dream is. People say it's dead. I think the American dream is still alive and well. Because isn't the American dream nothing else than grilling in your mom's backyard while you're locked down, quarantined during COVID? Is that not the American dream? That's the American dream I grew up with. Being locked down because of COVID at your mom's house. That is the American dream, ladies and gentlemen. So that was fun. Cooked up some hamburgers, hot dogs, and a steak. I had no vegetables. I made my girlfriend a little bit of vegetables, but I refused because I'm a man. I'm a man. I eat meat and buns. I'm a man. Unlike Kamala Harris, she's a woman. She is a woman, and she's also the nominee to be the VP for Mr. Joey Biden. He picked Kamala Harris, and I think it's significant. I think it's great, honestly. I'm excited for it. This is going to be awesome, okay? This is going to be great. It really is. And some of you might be saying, but Marcus, what about her record as a prosecutor in California? Or what about the extramarital affair she had when she was 30? What about all of these facts? What about the fact that she called Joe Biden a racist? What about that fact? What about that fact? None of that matters. You know what matters? She is a black woman, and that's what matters. That is the most important thing. She's a black woman. That's the most important thing about her, is her race and her gender. That's how I grew up. They always told me growing up, treat people based on their race and their gender. So, I'm glad we have Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. I think it's going to be great. And there's a lot of people on the right, a lot of conservative voices out there who are basically saying, look, she's not even black. She is half Jamaican and half Indian. And look, you know what? I don't know. I don't care. First of all, Jamaicans tend to be black. I don't know if you know that. But to me, if you're going to make that argument, go all the way with it. Okay? Because here's the thing. I don't think she's black. I don't think Kamala Harris is black. I think she's a lizard person. I do. All right? And this is a conspiracy that's not well liked. I'll be honest. There isn't much evidence for this. But I have a gut feeling. She's a lizard person. She really is. And look, I think it's about high time we get a lizard person back in office. Okay? We've had almost 4 years of a frog person. And I think we got to get the lizard people back in office. Okay? We tried Frog Guy. Trump, Frog Guy, Keck, Pepe Le Pew. We tried him. Let's go back to the lizard people we know and love. And I salute the next lizard person in charge, President Kamala Harris. Almost tastes like real freedom. It almost tastes like real freedom. And again, I think it's going to be great because we're going to go back to the lizard people of old, like George Bush and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and other George Bush and Ronald Reagan, and everybody are going back to Teddy Roosevelt. I've been lizard people. I think Woodrow Wilson was probably the first lizard president. And, I think what had happened was Bernie Sanders is not a lizard person. He's for the people. He's of the people, by the people, for the people. Bernie Sanders, right? Populist guy. And he won some states. It was cool. Everyone was feeling the burn. I don't know if because everyone was fucking each other and had herpes, but everyone was feeling the burn. And then the DNC stepped in and shut it down. And they were like, no, we need a lizard person. We need to go back to lizard people. So they got rid of Bernie. And they were trying to find out what is the lizard person we're going to unite behind. Because at that point, Kamala Harris had already dropped out. She was the lizard person that they wanted. And I had a good friend of mine, Mr. Ryan Willandy. He's a communist, but he's a cool guy. I like him. He pointed out a couple years ago that it was sick. He's a big Bernie supporter, by the way. It was disgusting to watch the Democratic Party roll out Kamala Harris like she was a product that being unveiled. Because that's basically what happened. And then she didn't get shit for votes. Nobody was fucking with her, really. So she dropped out before 2020 even hit. I think December 2019, December 3rd, 2019 is when she dropped out. And it was fascinating to me because now what we have is a situation where their number one lizard person was gone, dropped out, no one was fucking with her. So they were like, we need another lizard person. Who is the lizard person that people like? Well, we didn't like Lizard Pete. We didn't like Amy Klobuchar. We didn't like, who else was in the fucking race? There was the I don't remember his name. I'm going to say something racist if I try to guess the guy's last name. Is the Hispanic guy. I don't remember his fucking name. I want to say Marco Rubio Light or something Sanchez, but I don't remember his name. I guess we could look that up. But my point with all of it is, they had all these lizard people that they were looking for, and none of them really worked out. Nobody really wanted any of them. So they ended up saying, okay, everybody drop out. Let's unite behind Joe Biden, and then we'll have him pick a lizard person that we like. And they've always liked Kamala Harris. They've always liked her. Great lizard person. Great lizard person. Great tan for a lizard person. Normally, lizard people have presented as white. I don't know if you know this, but lizard people are actually shape shifters. Which is why they've been uniting behind the transgender movement as well, because, you know, it helps further their ability to be visible as lizard people. Kidding. I think trans people are people. Okay, I don't think they're lizard people. That's a whole different thing. But we're gonna have another lizard president, and I'm excited for it because it's really gonna bring people back. You know, once we have a lizard president again, then we can go out and we can pretend that we don't have a lizard president. Right now, when we've been deprived of what we've known with frog president, it's been so different, okay? And people are freaking out. So now they're trying to find a way to basically rein it back in. Let's bring it back in. Let's get the lizard people back in charge. And the lizard people are aliens, by the way. And we know that aliens are real. Doesn't take you don't even have to do drugs to figure that out. You can just read what the Pentagon has put out. They have said recently, because they know no one's paying attention, they've said recently that they have spaceships that were not built on Earth. Then where were they built? If not on Earth, where were they built? Were they built not on Earth? Then they're alien. Okay, so we have alien spaceships. We have Kamala Harris. Sorry. I don't want to say her name wrong. It's one of those names where it's consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. It's tough to say. It's like when I go to England, it's tough to pronounce the words, but it's even harder when I go to Hawaii to pronounce the words there, okay? And I speak English, and I would think, okay, well, okay, we're back. Spilled my beer. Can't cry over it. It's non-alcoholic. You really can't cry over a spilled non-alcoholic beer, but what are you going to do? A lot of people crying over Kamala Harris. I'm not one of those people. Because again, lizard people, I think they should be in charge. I think lizard people have done a great thing in humanity. If you look at the history of the lizard people, I think they've come up with incredible inventions that they brought from their planets. And, you know, now they're coming and they're basically presenting themselves and saying, look, we're fucking here. We're in charge. Okay, bitch. And it's going to be interesting to see how the people react to it. Are we going to embrace lizard people now that we know that that's what they are? I think we will. We suck. We'll totally embrace it. We'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, lizard people. You guys invented the internet? Al Gore, lizard person. Lizard person. And that was the crazy thing, and they love to run lizard people against lizard people. That's their favorite thing to do. That's why Gore and Bush was so close, because they just sat back. The aliens sat back and they're like, look, it doesn't matter. We win either way. They win either way on that one. And they made it happen. They really made it happen. And it was pretty impressive how they did that. And it's pretty impressive how they've tried to continue to do that. But then Trump came along and he did his frogging frog and Froggy Frog, Pepe the Frog, and he got the populist momentum behind him, and he became president. Now, Kamala Harris and the lizard people are back, and they're not going to let it happen. They're not standing for it, okay? They're going to fuck it up. They're going to go out there. They're going to go on the attack. They're going to remind people of how good things are when you truly have an alien president. Okay, they're going to remind us of that, because at this point, the Pentagon is trying to signal. They've said, look, we have spaceships. Spaceships are real. Elon Musk admits. Elon Musk is a lizard person, too. You should know that. He's a pretty cool one. Not going to lie. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, but he's a lizard person. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how because he saw the way things were going, and he was like, look, we need to up the space agenda. Okay, I want to go home. I want to go to Mars. That's where I'm from. I want to go home. So he's really been pushing a lot of the space travel recently, and I saw, I think Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, Michigan alum, go Blue, he sat down with the Winklevoss twins, and they were talking about Bitcoin and gold. And one of the things the Winklevosses were saying is that Elon Musk is going to go and harvest gold from space and bring it down to Earth, and it's basically going to make gold worthless. So they said Bitcoin is better because of that, and it made me glad I bought Bitcoin instead of gold. But nevertheless, it's still crazy, because it's like, look, they're right there. They're telling us what they're doing. They're going to space. They're going to raid the resources. It's basically Avatar, but the blue people are green and they're in charge. Okay, it's not like the people are taking over the alien Avatar world. It's the other way around. The aliens are coming. They've taken over Earth many, many times, and they'll do it again. And now they have their new person. It's Kamala Harris. And the thing about the lizard people is people don't really know. They prep people. They choose people. Like I think Jesus was a lizard person too, and he was chosen from an early age. And they sacrifice their own too, because they know, again, they're like you cut the tail off of a lizard and it grows back. Lizards don't die. Crocodiles don't even die. Nothing dies if it's a lizard. And so they prep people. They have people ready to go all the time. Okay. Lizard people, I mean. They have them ready. They have them prepped. A lot of people worry about like Soviet agents that can be triggered. There was that one Family Guy episode where they had several Russian agents who were sleeper cells. They worry about Russian sleeper cells, but really what you need to worry about is the lizard sleeper cells. They're very real. I don't mean to be an alarmist. I just want you to know what's happening. And I want you to vote for Biden Harris so we can get the lizard people back in charge, okay? It's just going to be way better once we do that. Taxes might go up a little bit, but who cares? None of the money's even real. None of the money's real. And it's been fun. The frog experiment has been fun, Pepe. It's been fun. It really has been. You have to say the last 4 years have been hilarious. They have been exciting. The last 4 years have been so funny that they've essentially made Saturday Night Live irrelevant. Like, nobody gives a shit about Saturday Night Live. They're like, look, you can't be any funnier than the actual news. It used to be, when the lizard people were in charge, it was so boring, but then SNL would come every Saturday and be like, well, let's make it funny. Now, shit is so funny on its own, SNL is just like, well, we don't even know, we don't know what to do. And they say the accents are racist. Come on. And I have to be honest, I was on a podcast earlier this week, sitting down with stand-ups, a local Detroit podcast that had been founded by David Shank and the late, great Marco the Darkness Gonzalez, who passed away on last week Saturday. I believe August 7th. And he was a great guy. I miss him already. And I didn't know him as well as other people knew him. Obviously, he had a family, and David Shank, him and David Shank were partners at the Broken Knuckle Comedy Studios. They are podcasting studios, originally in Pontiac, and then they had moved over to Waterford, Michigan, and they were cool. They are cool. David is a cool guy, and Marco was always super nice to me. I loved him, and I appreciated how much he did to support the local Michigan comedy scene. And he was a bit of a conspiracy guy too. I like talking baseball with him and conspiracy theories and shit like that. So that was always fun. But he was a real guy, He's a real person. He wasn't a lizard person for sure. Marco was not a lizard person, but he passed away on Saturday of stomach cancer. And I did his podcast, the one that he had started. It's called Sitting Down with Stand-Ups. I did it on Tuesday, about 3 days after he had passed away. And, we did talk about him. And we also wanted to make sure that we were still funny on the podcast, because he was a guy who was very pro-funny, right? He liked comedy, okay? He liked real comedy that was really funny. He didn't give a shit about PC, political correctness, that is. He didn't give a shit about that. He didn't give a shit about trying to please a specific audience. He wanted funny. He was about the integrity of the game, and that's why I loved him. That's why I appreciated what he did. That's why every time I saw him at a show, I was like, "What's up, Marco? Good to see you, dude." And he would do the same to me if he saw me first, And there are good people like that out in the world. There are. In the comedy world, there are real comedy supporters. And in whatever you do, whatever community you're in, there are good people who have positive impacts, and you have to appreciate those people while they're here. But I did his podcast, and I did a racial accent that wouldn't have been allowed to be done on a Saturday Night Live type show. I did an Asian accent. I may have said grasses. I did say grasses. And obviously I was not talking about a lawn. I was talking about glasses, spectacles, if you would say. And yes, I replaced the L with an R. And it was as a punchline to a story that was being told, and everyone was basically dancing around doing an Asian accent as the story was being told about some bikers and a couple Asian folks. It was an Asian man and his son, an Asian man who had apparently hit his son or something like that, and his glasses had gotten knocked down on the ground. Long story short, go listen to the podcast, but I did use the racist Asian accent. I'm not going to apologize for it, because I think racist accents are hilarious. I do. I think racist accents are funny. And if the election of Donald Trump will tell us anything, it's that a lot of people in America agree that racist accents are hilarious. Impressions are funny. Racism can be hilarious. It can also suck. And that line, though, has to be somewhere. And as a comedian, I think you should always be trying to figure out where that line is. And a lot of comedians just won't do it. They'll be like, "I don't do accents." And I'm like, well, you also don't really do, you don't do punchlines that well either. Like, sometimes I see comics, I'm like, you don't even do the punchlines, okay? And that's my problem with political correctness, is like, it starts small, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do an Asian accent. And it ends with, I'm not even going to say something funny. And by the end of it, you're not even telling jokes. You're not even doing punchlines. You're not even doing anything fucking real. So I hate political correctness. I hate that version of PC, but I love porn and capitalism. Big fan. Big fan of it. Capitalism is what invented the Heineken 0.0. Just saying. That I spilled earlier on the podcast and had to clean up. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You can't beat yourself up over shit like that, because if you do, you're going to be miserable. And look, I'm already miserable. I'm not drinking. I'm on day 6 Day 6. Actually, I think today is day 7. I've made it officially a week with no alcohol. I have had some O'Douls, which technically have some alcohol in them. But that was the first day, first of all. And it was at a show. I did a show at Ford Patio in Detroit alongside Detroit legend comedians Jay Bell and Daryl Earl, hosted by Simply Chanel. Every Tuesday, I was supposed to be on it on a week ago Tuesday. And they had to, because it was an outside show, because social distancing. And it was. Everyone was wearing a mask. It was outside, social distancing. It was great. It was a fun show. But we did it on Friday because of weather on Tuesday that wouldn't permit it. And it was a fun show. And it was the first day that I said, you know what, I'm done drinking. But I got a drink ticket at the show. And as any comedian knows, that drink ticket is special. Okay? If that's your only compensation, it's really special. If you have other compensation, the drink ticket is still meaningful, you know? The drink ticket is what unites us. The drink ticket is what brings comedians together and reminds them that we are idiots. We are morons who spend all of this time and energy coming up with material, and we get paid for it with a free drink. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? Today was the first day that I said I was going to stop drinking alcohol, but I'm going to use my drink ticket, okay? I'm going to use this fucking thing. I'm not going to let it go to waste. No, I'm using this drink ticket. And I asked, I was like, do you have any of the Heineken 0.0s? And the waitress, lovely lady, she said, no, we don't, but we have O'Douls. And I was like, I'll take an O'Douls. I'll take an O'Douls. So I took an O'Douls. And it said it had less than 0.5% alcohol, which I didn't really taste it. I didn't feel it. I felt fine. So that was kind of good. But I did have a second one. And some of you, especially if you're in recovery, you might be saying, well, there you go, Marcus. There you go. You were fiending for it again, weren't you? No, actually, I wasn't. I had the one. And then after the show, Jay Bell, who's one of my comedy mentors, I view him as one of my OGs in comedy, and he was going to do some shots with the other comedians. You know, Daryl Earl, he was the headliner, he was there as well, and we were going to do some shots, as you do, as comedians sometimes do after the show, celebratory, right? Like, hey, we're out here, we're doing comedy. In the midst of all this craziness, we're able to go and make people laugh. And I had to say, no, I can't. Today's the first day I'm trying to be sober. And Jay Bell, I used to do Jay Bell's show all the time. He had a show in Detroit at They Say Bar, in just on the east side, just east of downtown Detroit. And I used to be there pretty much every Thursday, and I would get fucking drunk. I would get very drunk at the show. So he, you know, most of his memories of me are pretty drunk. I would go up on stage, and then I would come down, and then I would get drunk. So when he saw me turn down that shot, he was like, what? And I understand. And luckily, the waitress was there, and she was like, look, he ordered no O'Douls. He's serious. And she brought me, she was like, I can get you another O'Douls. And I was like, you know what, fine. I'll take another O'Douls. So I had a second O'Douls. I didn't even finish it because I had to leave. And since then, only the Heineken 0.0. So, salute, Prost, and cheers to the Heineken 0.0 and to capitalism, which invented it. We are back, and we're going to highlight the porn star of the podcast. Like I said, today's is Kira Noir. She was born on July 16th, 1994 in San Marino, California. On July 16th, like I said, born to a father serving in the Navy. Kira frequently moved from place to place. She and her sister mostly grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, Nashville, Tennessee. While in high school, Kira describes herself as being nerdy and mostly socialized with other students that were similarly nerdy. Okay, and I've seen this with other porn stars too. It's actually kind of interesting how a lot of girls who are a bit nerdy in high school end up going into porn. But let's continue reading about the lovely Kira Noir. Kira was involved in theater and color guard afterwards. She went on to live in Missouri, moving throughout the state until settling in St. Louis, where she lived for 3 years. There, she began to work in adult entertainment as a stripper. Again, really the pathway a lot of porn stars take. She started out stripping. She later migrated into webcam modeling after meeting several fellow strippers through Tumblr. Her biggest influence for stepping in front of the cameras was Bonnie Rotten, whose pre-recorded stage shows inspired Kira the most. At 20 years of age, Kira debuted in film shoots in 2014. Since then, Kira has worked for studios and websites including Third Degree, Wicked Pictures, Devil's Film, Kink, Digital Playground, Evil Angel, Brazzers Network, big fan, Reality Kings, and many more. A multiple-time award nominee, Kira won her first Spank Bank Award in 2018 for Ebony Princess of the Year. She won a Spank Bank Technical Award in 2018 as well for Most Lickable Taint. Wow! Most Lickable Taint. That's amazing. Outside of her work, Kira enjoys going on hikes, pole dancing, and going to goth clubs in Hollywood. There you go. Miss Kira Noir, the porn star of the podcast today. Some things I didn't know about her, honestly. I didn't know that she had grown up in Nashville primarily. I also didn't know that she had the most lickable taint. Now, that being said, last week we had Vanessa Blue on the podcast, who's kind of a veteran. This week I wanted to go with a young gun like Kira Noir. Most lickable taint. That is an incredible category for an award. I have to say. I do have to say that is an incredible category. And what an honor to get a Spank Bank technical award. A technical award for Spank Bank. And that's one of the things that I love about pornography is they do embrace the idea of challenge, right? Competition, awards. It's the industry has problems, as most industries do. And most things that involve sex work, they all have problems. We get that. But Kira Noir has got to the top of the pornography adult entertainment industry. And how did she do it other than hard work? Having it. The X Factor. The things you need to make it in this country, okay? You need to make it. And her father served in the Navy as well, veteran. So shouts outs to him. And look, I've been a fan of her since she burst on the scene back in 2014. I guess it says that's when she debuted, and that sounds about right. If my Spank Bank serves me, I think that's about the time that I started to see her on the interwebs. And she's been a killer. She really has been. She goes for it. If you see some of the interviews with her, she's not afraid. She was apparently in high school a bit of a shyer girl, but again, it's interesting how those shy girls turn into the porn stars that me and you jerk off to. Now, Kamala Harris, was she shy in high school? I have no idea. I just found out today that she actually graduated high school in Montreal. Who told me that? My dad. Was he right? I don't know. I didn't look it up. I have no clue if he's right on that. But I was telling him, that's not the worst thing about her. Like, look, the fact that she went to high school in Canada, who gives a shit? There are a lot of people who are much more concerned about the fact that she may come from some slave owner ancestry. Again, these are all things that people are worried about. I don't care because I know she is a good lizard person. And we're going to get her in office, and it's going to be great. I'm excited for it. I don't know how people aren't excited for it. I don't know how all these people on the right, want to just point out how awful she is. Sure. Did she lock up nonviolent drug offenders and then later admit that she smoked marijuana? Sure, whatever. That's not important. What's important is she's a black woman. She identifies as a black woman. That's the most important part. She's really a lizard person. But again, that's what we need. That's what this country needs to come back together. Okay? We need the aliens, the Anunnaki who run our shit. We need them back. That's just what I believe. I understand that people have different feelings and people can vote for whoever they want to vote for. But I think, quite frankly, I'm going to have to vote for lizard president. I have to. Because I just want what's good for the kids. You know what I mean? I want what's good for the kids. And Kamala Harris is great for the kids because if you don't go to school, they'll throw your parents in jail. Isn't that amazing? That's the crazy one to me. I saw that and I was like, oh, you want to throw parents in jail because their kids didn't go to school. And she's like, yep, I do. And I was like, whoo, it's a crazy lizard. Crazy lizard. But that's what this country needs at this point. You know, we need a strong black female lizard to tell us what to do, to get us in line, get us all wearing masks. Masks. It's a tough thing to say. And once we have that, and once we have all the parents in jail and the kids are all in school but online, so they're at home, and obviously there's no parents at home because they're in jail because the kid didn't go to school because the school was closed because it was online, but now the parents are in jail, so there's no one at home. Who's paying for the house? I don't know. Probably the taxpayers, but who's the taxpayers if the parents are in jail? Exactly. Who is the taxpayer? It might be you, but you might be in jail. But if you're in jail, how are you watching this? That is the future of this country. And I want you to embrace it. I don't want you to reminisce about hot dogs in your mom's backyard, which sounds kind of weird, but that's not what I mean. You know what I mean? I mean actual pork and chicken, not all beef. I mean the cheap pork and chicken fucking hot, like the 99-cent thing of hot dogs. You get 8 of them, and then you buy a 99-cent thing of 8 buns, and that's your dinner because you're white trash. You know what I'm talking about? That with a little bit of off-brand ketchup and mustard, and some frozen hamburgers on also 89-cent hamburger buns. That is the future. Sorry, that is the past. The future is your parents are in jail, your kids are at home, all right? Antifa's in the streets, and Kamala Harris is the president, and she's a lizard, so it's going to be great. Lizard people are great because they can survive the hot temperatures when the world is on fire. The world has been on fire for years now, and it'll only get worse. And that's why, again, pro-lizard president. It's what we need. It's what we need. And it's going to suck because I think over time, slowly but surely, these lizard people will take away all the rights. They will take away our porn. They may even take away our capitalism. But they'll never take our PC. No, I don't know. I do just find it hilarious that there are so many videos online of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden just going after each other on stage in front of the American people. And now I'm supposed to believe that they're friends? Why would that be the case? You called him a racist. Okay. Joe Biden didn't know what he called Kamala Harris. And at the end of it, you have to look at it and be like, so now you guys are just going to make up. And they're going to sell it as, yes, look at how our country and our people, we can all come together to defeat the evil that is Donald Trump. And that may be true. That may be true. But what is also true? Kamala Harris is a lizard, okay? And that is what really matters. It's not even that she's a black woman. It's that she's a lizard, and that's what's good for us. That's what we need. A lizard will put it back on track, okay? And I wish she would just campaign as one. I really do. Just unzip the pantsuit. She wears the same pantsuits as Hillary Clinton, too. Is that not weird to people? Who are the fashion designers for women in politics today? They're Democrats. They have to have some gay people who are just looking at this like, that is awful. Like, what is happening? I don't understand. I really genuinely do not understand why every Democratic woman who runs for any office is like, I'm going to wear the fucking worst pantsuit on the planet. What is the deal with that? Wear something cool. Well, I want to show that I'm a power woman. Well, there's better looks. There's got to be better looks. And I'm not even a fashion expert. I'm wearing this shirt, Mental Health Matters. But I don't think that the pantsuit is the best look for a woman politician. I don't know. It works well for Angela Merkel over in Germany, but she is also a lizard person. So she's got everyone convinced that she should be in charge. So again, I know I'm harping on this point, but it's because I want to drive it home. I want you to really understand that is the most important thing. We get lizard people back in charge. Everybody calms down. All right? Everybody calms down. Take a deep breath. little ASMR, whatever that thing is where people jerk off to sounds. The soothing sounds of a lizard person taking over your life. Let it happen. Ignore the long tail and the split tongue. Ignore it and vote for Kamala Harris to be the vice president / basically the president, because she is a good lizard person, and that is what we need in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you vote, okay? Make sure you go out there and you exercise your civic duty to choose one evil versus the other, okay? Do you want an evil frog, an evil lizard, or something that won't matter like Joe Jorgensen? That choice is up to you, the American people. And if you're not American, stop fucking watching this. No, that's cool. Hi, mate. Welcome to the show. If you're, I would just assume it'd be an Australian person. It's going to be beautiful. I'm really excited for the future of this country. I hope that when Biden and Kamala get elected, you know, the Antifa riots stop. That would be fucking sweet. I don't know. Someone just used the bathroom, so now I got water flowing in the background. This is great. This is professional in my mom's basement. I'm probably going to go eat some more of those hot dogs and hamburgers that I made, and then I will get to editing this. And if you're listening to this, I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my profile on Kira Noir. She's one of my favorites. She really is. There's a trivia question. Oh, because I'm on IMDb, by the way. And also, check out my IMDb. It's pretty pathetic, but I have one. It's out there. I've done things, sort of, apparently. Trivia. She chose Kira as her stage name after a character from an anime cartoon that she likes. For the last name in her stage name, she chose Noir as a play on words since it is French for black at... Since it is French for black, at matches her ethnic background. Also, she chose it because she has always identified with the goth lifestyle. And she is one of those hot, like, you could see her wearing like some punk rock Avril Lavigne stuff, and you'd be like, I'll be a skater boy for you. You know what I'm talking about? Just me. Can't be. That was a huge hit. Avril Lavigne, by the way. When I was out in California, one of my roommates, Luke Villegas, he's a member of a rock and roll band where the lead singer was dating, or not the lead, I don't think it was the lead singer. One of the band members was dating Avril Lavigne. Jaguar Twin is the name of the band, and they went on tour with Avril Lavigne, and apparently one of the dudes in the band is dating Avril Lavigne. So I was smoking weed with this kid, my roommate Luke. I was smoking weed with this kid, and he just drops this shit on me. I'm like, bro, so you know Skater Boy? And he was like, yeah, dude. And I was like, fucking what? That's so crazy, dude. He knew Skater Boy. It's so cool. It's just cool. When you go out to LA, you meet people who have done things, and it makes you feel like a loser. Especially when you realize the people who have done things are also fucking poor. You're like, you've done what? And you're living with me? You've done what? And you're poor? You've done all this shit, and you still are fucking poor as shit. That's LA for you, baby. That's LA. And guess who the senator from California is? The broke state, Kamala Harris. It's crazy. California is completely bankrupt. Joe Rogan's leaving. I was like, Joe, I left in February, okay? Don't copy me. I knew what I was doing. No, I just ran out of money. But the point is, everybody's leaving LA. And it's good because I think that's probably where the lizard people will land. Again, arid, desert. Perfect for the lizard folks. I'm going to start calling them lizard folks, by the way, too, because I want to be inclusive. I don't want to be racist towards lizard people. Aliens. They are real. They're out there. They're on the planet. They walk among us. The lizard people. They're very much real. And if there's anything you got from this podcast, it should definitely be that you should vote for Kamala Harris. Don't even vote for Joe Biden. Write in Kamala Harris. Write her in. Okay? Don't vote for Joe. Write in Kamala Harris. Let's just completely circumnavigate this whole bullshit. Okay? Just vote for her directly. Do it. I'm going to do it. I will pledge it. I will fucking do it. I will write her in just to say that I voted for a lizard person. The first black female lizard person. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too. And again, go check out Kira Noir. Go support her. Give her a follow on Twitter. I don't know what her handle is. You can't ever find the real handle for a porn star because they always have like 8 parody accounts, and it's always people who are just trying to get followers and then send you dick pics, okay? It's bullshit. I'm sick of it. That's what happens, though. That's what happens. And with that, I leave you. Thank you for listening to Markus Olind Loves PC.